What's up, everyone? Oh, I need to update chat. Give me a sec, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Awesome, awesome. Was there a drop today? There was not a drop today. Yeah, a lot of the drops already happened. I think it's going to be a pretty slow week this week for Veve, but we'll see. Oh, I gotta update chat. Anyway, I gotta make it so I can see, or you guys can see your chat. Let's see. There we go. Nice. We got Delco, dude. What's up, dude? And Slider. What's good, man? I've been you posted some stuff recently that I've kind of enjoyed. Let me see. Okay. But cool, man. Hope you guys are enjoying the day. I haven't been paying too close attention to the market, but yeah, today we're going to be talking a bit about just kind of like Grails in general. I'll be honest, I did this post. Let's see if I can find it. Appreciate all you guys that retweet and liked the Twitter comment here, or on X, like Pixel Trader's thing for Monty Python. Actually, the emote that I have here is from Monty Python. It's from it's kind of hard to see, but it's like from the cover of Monty Python's Holy Grail. What's the full? Yeah, I think it's just called Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Okay. Great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it, you really should. It's actually hilarious. How's the music, by the way? It sounds a little... I gotta maybe turn it down a little. Okay. But yeah, it's kind of funny, like that emote, or that GIF you posted is literally an emote from that emote, the HODL Grail like emote that I did. So, what's up, Pixel Trader? Thanks for stopping by. Oh yeah, I was gonna go back to this because I made this post like, gosh, like, wow, it's actually been that long. I cannot believe it's been like 3 weeks since I posted this one. This one I just kind of posted for people's opinions. I was genuinely interested in like what people thought on the left versus right. I'm curious what Veve official community thinks is the difference between the Grails on the left and right. Shout out to NFT Pirates. Yeah, this was actually his. I think a lot of people thought like this was a video. I was just posting it because NFT Pirates had like a really cool live stream, talking about Grails, talking about all kinds of stuff, and I just thought it was just like an interesting topic because a lot of people were kind of like commenting on the stream, being like, "Well, this is a Grail," and like Donnie and this and that. And I'm like, okay, it's kind of interesting. I think everyone's definition of a Grail is different, right? Depending on, you know, what you were a collector before, right? Depending on like Pokemon cards, comics, all kinds of stuff, or if you collected digital assets or digital things like I have before, like Team Fortress 2, items and hats, Counter-Strike, things like that. So I have experience with like trading digital assets and things that are considered like Grails in those communities and things like that. So it's kind of interesting. Like this one, for example. Like this one says, it's comical that Noir isn't on this, and we know why. Them whales didn't get lucky and were not able to stack them for cheap, but Noir will outpace 90% of the items on this list. Yeah, until there's a new Marvel Mighty that's more scarce than Noir, right? Then all of a sudden Noir is no longer the scarcest. So I think Noir is, as of right now, the reason why he's so expensive is he's a, from my, I could be wrong. So let me know if any of you guys are like Marvel Mighty collectors. It's like, he's pretty much just the bottleneck to collecting the entire Marvel Mighty set. So I didn't even realize this was a post until today. I mean, some people have actually commented on this post, and I completely forgot to look at it. Keep in mind that this is coming from the same people who told you it was a good idea to buy Todd's at 10K and Walt's at 20K. It was good for them to dump on your heads, but not good for whoever listened to them and bought at them price. I mean, a lot of whales bought at the top, including Dr. Profit. A lot of whales, you know, bought at the very top. So hold on, get one sec. I'm gonna turn down this music. It's almost getting like too loud for me even. There we go. Like, it's supposed to be background music, not the loudest thing here, but so many Grails not enough liquidity. Yeah, there's that too. Pasternak, what's up, dude? Vibes! Nicely done! It's been a while. It's been a while since I've hung out with my collectibles. KGM Jam, what up, Vibes? Love talking about Grails. Yeah, it's always a fun topic. But in this case, where he's talking about how, you know, it's like it almost makes it sound like this is a huge plan by all the whales to like dump on everyone. Like, there's a shit ton of whales that still bought at the very top. Not only that, there was the huge fake gem injection kind of thing. So really, I think it was more, you know, just bull market, everything going nuts, you know, people getting excited, a lot of fake gems getting injected to the app. Back then, Veve was kind of telling people, oh, we're getting, you know, X amount of new users, you know, for the most part every day. And so we kind of got caught up in all of that. So I don't think it's just like whales are trying to dump on our heads and all that kind of stuff, you know. I think whales are just too busy accumulating, buying stuff or selling or restructuring what they're collecting and stuff like that. But I don't think it has anything to do with that. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Noir is just the bottleneck to collecting all the Marble Mighties. And that's kind of it. And is he considered a Grail? I would consider him. My original thought for this was the items on the right, or the, I'm like flipped. The items on the right are essentially arguably like BB Grails, right? These are like more community driven. It's usually like the first of on the app. A lot of these collectibles are like beloved by Veve like OGs. I know a lot of Veve OGs like love the Steve Pugh, like Harley Quinn. A lot of people liked like Nightwing. Like Nightwing was a really popular collectible for like a lot of Veve OGs and all that kind of stuff. So I would argue like Rizzo's, you know, I don't know if he's like a Grail. Obviously people just looked at Todd because he's like a triple or quadruple like FA or whatever. Really, Rizzo has what's going for him is he's part of that first set, and him and Becky Clune and all those are still first edition, which I think is pretty unique. So it's one of those things where it's like you really wouldn't know the value unless you ask around in the community and all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's one way to look at it, is just there's like the face value, I guess, value of the collectibles. Like people know Miles and Spider-Man and you know, Vader and all that stuff. Like you can ask most people in the world and they would know who that is, but most of the stuff on the right, not really, right? They might know that's Batman, but you know, which Batman, and why is it not as valuable as this other guy? Like people aren't going to know that, right? You know, and this whole Veve thing, I do think like the Veve gold and silver logo, to an outsider it's not a Grail, but like honestly, if you're in the community and just like know the utility, you know, everything that's involved with it, like yeah, it's definitely a Grail. But I do think there's different ones. I'll kind of keep reading the comments on here, but every stimmy chip meant a big crypto and NFT pump. That too. Yeah, I mean, that was during COVID and everyone had stimulus checks, and yeah, people were looking to not just traditional investing, but also alternative investing like NFTs and crypto and all kinds of stuff, right? So there's also all the, I think what really perpetuated that too is all the hype around like Bored Ape Yacht Club and all these other big NFT projects that were doing like extremely well, and they're like, well, if Veve was just only doing like a tenth as good or as big as it, you know, some of those other projects with these collectibles, like man, it's going to really take off, and it still will. It really just needs more time, more development, and hopefully the NFT conversation comes back around towards maybe the middle or like the tail end of the NFT or like kind of crypto bull run. You know, who knows, right? It could happen. But Mr. MC1, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it. Of course, the talks about the Grails gets everyone out here, but I think it's interesting to have a distinction between, everyone has different definitions of Grails, and I actually kind of like that. If it was just kind of like universally agreed upon for everything, it'd probably be a little bit boring. Yeah, it would be a bit more structured, and people would probably price stuff a bit better. But for the most, we're not at that point yet. I don't think there's enough like liquidity and collectors on the app to kind of figure out that price. I mean, prices are still doing this. Like, I mean, just look at the Veve logo and a lot of these grails. It's like 10-20% like fluctuations, even like week to week. So, but KGM Jam says it's a grail if you own it. That is very true. If you own it, it's just automatically a grail. Yeah. So, yeah, if you own it, it becomes a grail. If you don't own it, then yeah, who cares? And someone else is trying to pump it, or if someone's trying to suppress your pricing or whatever it is. So, I don't know, some of the talk about like whales, dumping on people or whatever. I think they're just too busy accumulating what they think is, cool. Or some people are flipping, right? Let's see. Charter's not a good idea to discuss. Looking forward to it. Objective versus subjective grails. This was actually a really good point by is it Aza? I was just kind of wondering like what people thought. I was like, I think both of these are grails in their own way, but like, what do you think the contrast is between the grails on the left and the grails on the right, right? And so his was like objective versus subjective. That's actually interesting. Since how you have the right idea. I thought of it as like universal grails versus Veve community grails. Objective versus subjective is another interesting topic. So, do you guys think that means like one and the same thing, like objective versus subjective? An easier way to kind of explain this is like the grails on the right probably require a little bit of explaining. Like not everyone's going to know what that blue dude is, or that horse, or that picture. That picture on the top right? That's like the first like art piece on Veve, right? That was like anytime there's like a new vertical or like almost like a new, whether it's crafting or it's like the one of ones, all that stuff. It's like, I think, those are big milestones for Veve, but like, unless you were there, unless someone tells you, you don't know that these are big pieces, right? Mr. MC1 says, yes, came to the chat to check out the Grail chat. Yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about today. What up, Vibes and Veve fam? What's up, Rob Cooks? I think the most affordable Grail is Todd. I think especially with the 5-year anniversary in October 2025. I did not think about that. Man, Todd is about to be 5 years old. Todd is about to go to like kindergarten at this point. Start learning some ABCs. Learn how to write his name a little bit. Yeah, it's crazy. Like some people's collectibles are going to be like older than some of their kids. Like I've actually had this Todd longer than you've been alive. Or I'm buying this Todd for you. I think it'd be kind of cool. Todd is definitely very affordable. I would say, yeah, all these are pretty affordable. How much is the, what I should have done is I should have like looked up the pricing on all these kind of like side by side. That's probably a good video. I actually really like that, Mr. MC1. Like the most affordable grails on Veve. How much is Stan Lee going for SR? It's been a while since I should pay more attention to. I do think that is a person or character. I do think that is a, I don't know what to call it, character, person, whatever. That is overlooked quite a bit. How much is he going for? It's going for like 125. Yeah, 125 is the floor right now. How many mints is he? Only 1,000. That's pretty good for a Grail. I think the only thing that obviously holds the secret rare back a little bit is just because, right, if you love Stan Lee, you don't have to buy the SR. You can buy, the ultra rare, the rare, or the common. Where are the commons on here? Oh, there it is, like the uncommon, which is currently going for list price. It's going for less than 10 bucks. So, I mean, I don't think the uncommon's a Grail, but it's like, like I said, some of these ones that kind of keep it like a lower price, it's just because there's other versions of the same FA that people can also collect. In a way, I kind of like the uncommon the most. It's just there's just like the most action and stuff going on, but to each their own. Todd is very emotional for the founders and OGs. Very, yes, I agree. A lot of the, let's actually have, whoop, sorry. Oh man, dude, this page with this with their ads is a little weird. All right. So if we flip the release date on this, a lot of these are all season 1 stuff, right? Todd is a big one. I still think Joker's a Grail, in my opinion, and people are definitely overlooking it. Um, every person that has a Batman, you don't even need a Todd. You just someone that likes Batman. Maybe they can't afford Todd, but it's like, I mean, for less than 100 gems, you can buy Joker and like another Batman. I mean, you can buy the Joe Mad, still a season 1, set 1 collectible. It's not FA, but it's still FE. FE is still pretty interesting. There's not a lot of collectibles or collectibles that are characters that still have like the FE tag on it, right? I remember there's like the huge debacle about like inanimate objects. I remember a long time ago that were like FE versus FA and all these kind of things, but then they kind of settled it and were like, all right, this is what it's going to be going forward, which I'm kind of glad they did. I was salty at at that time, but it is what it is. That's the risk you take with investing in new projects and stuff. Like, I mean, they make changes, right? Website changes, the community. So Todd does represent a lot of important things. Yeah, he's like a quadruple FA, right? Like first on the blockchain, first on Veve, first Batman, first, yeah, there's a lot of things going for it. I'm sure someone has one listed out. I'm sure there's more things going on with Todd than even some of us realize. I'm sure someone has it like listed out for the most part. Like I think Joker is one. I know he's not, I mean, I think he's also the first villain on the app, right? I don't know enough about Adventure Time to know if like Ice King is a villain or something like that, but like, I mean, that's another thing, right? Joker's the first villain on the app and arguably like a top 2 villain, fictional villain of like all time. Wow, Big Barda got a big undercut. Yeah, she was going for like 70 earlier. Now she's down to 50. Or 80, I should say. Now she's down to 50. Harley Quinn. If you asked me a long time ago, I don't think people really cared about her, but there have been a lot of DC movies and video games and stuff about her. She has been kind of pushed in the forefront more recently. Now, will that like continue or maintain? I'm not sure. The other issue with like Harley Quinn is, again, there's a lot of other Harley Quinns. Not as many as like Batman, right? I think there's over 100,000 something Batmans. I haven't done the math yet on it. I think someone did the math like a long time ago, but Harley Quinn is another thing because there's like 7 or 8 other collectibles that are also Harley Quinn that people can get. So I think Grails can change. We don't have every fandom in Veve right now. When Star Trek fans come in, well, I think the Enterprise will definitely be a Grail. This goes for some other IP also. Yeah, there's that too. I don't think it would be, I mean, I think it would be cool to collect. I just don't know. I think in order for something to be considered a Grail, I do think there has to be a significant like collecting kind of community behind that like IP, right? That, or maybe we can, it kind of becomes like a Veve Grail, right? Like for a perfect example, like, is it Adventure Time such a big IP that people are throwing millions of dollars around, hundreds of thousands of dollars collecting physical and digital versions of Adventure Time collectibles? Probably not, but it's a big deal on Veve, right? And this Donnie, is Donnie from Adventure Time? He's either from Adventure Time or Powerpuff Girls. Either way, same example. So that could be a prerequisite a little bit, right? In order for something to be a Grail meaning it's relatively high value, and yeah, I don't know. Biggest multi-FA for sure, definitely. Let me go through the chat really quick. Bought my first partner statue when it was at 9K, right before it pumped up to 50. I was at Florida rest area, panic, depositing 300 gems at a time because that's all they would allow. Yeah. I never sold it and still have it now at the 1200 mark. It took me 3 hours to buy it because the bank kept cutting me off. I had to call them to tell them to turn me back on. Yeah, dude, I've been in that, not that exact scenario, but I'm in that scenario where I'm trying to buy something and I'm just like panic selling, just like random stuff in my, it's been a long time since I've done that, but no, I feel you on that. And there's a plenty of collectibles I've ridden all the way to the top, all the way to the bottom, like Steamboat Willie. The other Joker I had, I spent like 800 gems on it. Now it's worth like 35 or something. So we all have like big W's, right, on Veve. So I think Steamboat Willie is also a Grail. Yeah, that's a huge one too. That one's pretty darn cheap now, right? Steamboat. That's okay. So it's one word. Right. Yeah, he's going for even cheaper than Stan Lee. Although he does have like what, over like quintuple the amount of mints or something. Yeah, it's like almost 7,000 mints on the altogether. Now I think he's a Grail too. It's just going to be one that's higher mints, and therefore it's just going to be a bit cheaper. Maybe until we get all the Disney / like Mickey Mouse like diehards on the app. So it's one of those things where it's like we can kind of guess, right, just by like how popular things are, the fandom, all that stuff, but like we really won't know until Veve really kicks off and we start getting some like big money in here, but a lot of people, right? If you can't buy Todd because Vibes owns every Todd, which he does, you can always buy Joker. Yeah, I actually own all the Jokers as well. So if you want to buy them off me, off Time Drive, let me know. There's still a handful of collectibles I think is a sleeper. I do agree with Mr. MC1. Steamboat Willie I think is a Grail. It's just going to take time for it to kind of present itself that way. Same thing with like Joker. I do think Joker is a Grail that is often overlooked. Vibes is the Grail maker. That's what I do. Whatever I say goes. What's Noir going for? Spider-Man Noir. That guy in the X comment, it just kind of made me curious. Yeah, it's going for 60,000. I thought it was 60,000. It's going for like 6 rand. Are people buying at that price? Well, are people actively buying Noir? I don't know if this is gonna. Stacker's still having issues, so I can't really see. Yeah, it's not really telling me. It would have been nice to know if there's been any like recent purchases, because I will say if it is being like actively bought and sold, sure, yeah, but I don't think a Grail either needs to be like actively traded or anything like that. But Star Wars also I think is underrated right now. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, not financial advice, of course, but you can't really go wrong with the big three: Star Wars, Marvel, Disney, and then there's a whole bunch of other huge ones, DC and stuff, right? But like, I would say on average, if you had, 100 Veve users just join in one day, or 1,000 or whatever, on average, you're probably, most of them are more than likely big fans of like one of those three, right? Like Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, or DC. Probably one of those like big four at some point. If not, then they might be more into like art or sports or comics or something like that. But you're also just kind of appealing to like the lowest common denominator, right? And some of these things, at least I am. Some people go for, mint numbers and the most expensive things and all that stuff. And they're really trying to either genuinely collect or try to appeal to the top, 0.5% of collectors, or try to sell to them. But I just bought a Steve Rogers poster, the musical, definitely a Grail. Hey, it's a Grail if you own it, just like who said it earlier. It's like once you own it, it's a Grail. Yep, just like Jam said. It's a Grail if you own it, so. And that's the thing, it's like you don't, for some of these collectibles, you only need to convince a handful of people that it's a Grail, right? Or that it's important. Tier list in 2025 will be interesting, yeah. I thought about making a like Grail tier list, or just like probably the most popular, or like the drops you don't want to overlook, because there's a lot of people coming back from Veve after like 2 years, 2.5 years, right? Since like late 2021, early 22, because I think a lot of people just kind of left Veve, or just kind of just left the whole like collecting aspect of it, probably like early 2022, right? So a lot of these people are kind of coming back after like 2 or 3 years. And they don't know about all the drops. They don't know that we've gotten, a lot of cool stuff since they last got on the app. Collectibles, also not, comics and stuff, like even just simple stuff like Bert and Ernie. Like this just came out not long ago. It's like all the new users, not you new users, but all the old school users that came back probably didn't even know this happened. Yeah, I might have to do a video just almost like a this is everything you've missed, or at least the drops, right? I mean, there's a whole lot of information and stuff that went out there about Veve, all the new updates and the new website and crafting, all that. So it's almost like too much to cover, but at least just like the drops themselves, I think it'd be kind of interesting to cover. You know, like a big one is also like the stamp drops, like the black pennies, right? I'm not just saying that because I own it, but I do think it's a pretty unique, of all the stamps, it's probably one of the more unique ones for sure. I also got the physical of it over here. You guys didn't see it yesterday. This just delivered like 2 days ago. I don't know if it was literally yesterday or it was 2 days ago, because that's when I actually got it. My little black penny stamp is here. That's pretty cool. Was never a stamp collector until literally 2 days ago now, so. And I really hope Veve continues to do that kind of stuff, because I do think I do think Phygital is the future. In general, I do think if you want to appeal to kind of like everyday people, that kind of stuff, I do think ideally ideally there's some utility, something to get out of it physically, or MCP or something like that, right? So many big drops since 2021. Yeah, 2021 and early 2022. So maybe I'll do it since like the beginning of 2022. Because that's really when everything started going down. And I think after like 2 or 3 months, anywhere between like 1 to 6 months, I do think a lot of people just kind of left, just because they were just tired of like seeing their collection go down. They were tired of, there were still good drops coming out, but just buying stuff and just constantly seeing it just go down in price wasn't fun. A Grail should also mean it's extremely popular, something everyone wants to work towards. There's plenty of expensive things just to do scarcity, but not many people care for it. Exactly, yeah. I would say it's like the people in that IP, the people that are fans of that IP, do they recognize this character or this collectible, and are they willing to, pay top dollar for? Not top dollar, but yeah, I like the idea. It's like something to work towards, or it's like something that everyone that's a fan of that IP is ideally going to try and collect at some point. So, but I agree. It's not just, there's plenty of just randomly scarce stuff on the app, right? B said in an interview that they're not planning on any utility. They never said the company's IP weren't going to add utility. Yeah, it's interesting I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought there was a post. Thanks for the retweet, Jimmy, and then who else? All right, so this part right here, I was gonna look at Veve's replies, because they did reply. If you guys haven't seen Sergio's like X post about how people think like there's like no utility on Veve, and there is. I get it, but where is it? Veve, where's Veve's reply? Oh, here it is. So Veve said, we're committed to adding even more utility and long-term value to our existing collectibles. Utility will be dependent on our agreement with the licensor, of course. Plans are underway to bring new engagement to older collectibles. Be sure to keep an eye on our official channels for updates. So it sounds like they're already in the work. I don't know if they're like, basically the licensor already said yes, and now they're working on ways to implement the burn or whatever they agreed on. Or they're like, hey, we have some ideas. We're still trying to present it and trying to encourage them to bring, like you, kind of like what Veve said, utility to older collectibles. So does that include the big 3 or 4? Who knows? Is it going to be, independent artists or licensors that might be a little bit more flexible? Maybe. But sometimes that's all it takes, right? I think it's good that the independent artists started doing like utility early on and airdrops and all that stuff, because that kind of gives information and statistics that Veve can then present to the bigger licensors and be like, hey, we've already tried this with, smaller drops, and they've had this much revenue, this much stuff. Like, you guys can do it too. And so, if I had a nickel for every time my bank called me to tell me to stop making eyebrow transactions in Florida rest stop, I'd have so many nickels. What's an eyebrow transaction? Is that a term? Eyebrow trend? Oh, just like one eyebrow goes up and just like, what? Only instead of my bank, it's the comps, and only instead of calling, it's tasing. I really think 10 years from now, each fandom is going to have their own grails. For example, I mostly collect trading cards IRL, and Jordan Rookie is a grail. Not many care about action figure grails. That's true. Um, Although I will say, like, my generation, right, of especially like millennials, right? I think I was like towards like the tail end of like the millennial like era. I don't know. I've seen different like ranges of like millennials and things like that, but I will say we did grow up with like a lot of DC, Marvel, a lot of that. We grew up a lot of just superhero movies, like watching X-Men and Iron Man, and um, there's a lot of that. So I do think people are still always going to collect cards and stuff like that, but I mean, I still like those characters and comics and all that kind of stuff. So not many care about action figure growth, but I mean, it could change, right? Wait, I mean, eyebrow raising. I'm like, eyebrow transactions aren't a thing. What do you think the effect of the upcoming affiliate program will be for Veve? Will it get new users on board? I will say, if they allow, because I'll say the main reason why I got a lot of friends on Veve in the first place, like 3-4 years ago, like late 2021, early 2022, was because I could trade them a free comic or collectible and just get them to play with it, look at it, do AR, look at the mint number, you know, all that kind of like unique stuff. They seem to like it, and some of them did buy a few more things. Some of them just didn't really pick it up after that. But I almost know for a fact if I could not trade them something for free, I mean, the fact that like on Veve, the only way to get engaged other than like the community tab is to basically just spend money, right? It's like spend money first and then enjoy all the things, instead of like, I think, in my opinion, I think every new account should have a, you know, Veve logo. It's not the exact ones, right? But it's just on the, everyone gets airdropped a Veve logo of a different mint number, right? It's just an unlimited mint number, right? Each new account just gets a free one, and they can just play with it. You can't trade it, you can't sell it, but it's just an NFT or just a collectible or whatever that everyone gets when they make an account, and you can just play with it, you know, or a comic or whatever. That way, when people download the app, they at least have something to interact with or look at or to test, rather than, all right, I gotta put in my credit card, put in 5, 10, 20 bucks first. You know, oh, I like this character, but he cost 50 gems. Can I just get something cheaper or whatever? So, and then as for like the affiliate program, I'm kind of curious how that's gonna work. I don't even care if we don't get, like, if affiliates don't get paid, like in the sense of like gems or dollars or something like that. But it would be cool to be, hey, after you refer 5 people and they spend money on the app, right? Because you can't just refer 1,000 people. You could just make alt accounts. And I know there's KYC and stuff, but maybe if they spend a bit of money, or maybe if they just spend any money on the app after like 5 of those, all right, cool, you get airdropped a cool referral collectible. That's like a Veve logo, not a Veve logo, but it's just a Veve IP licensed, whatever the collectible is, right? After 5, and then 10, then maybe 100, and then, you know, it just kind of gets cooler and cooler from there. So I don't even think they need to, like, it would be kind of cool to get some sort of kickback, but I think it'd be cool just to have like a badge or something you can just show up, be like, hey, I've referred like 100 people, right, using my link or whatever it is. So I think it'd be pretty cool. Depending on how good the incentives are, a lot of outsiders could start covering Veve. That too, I was going to say, especially if they understood more about Veve, the collecting aspect, the IPs that are involved. You know, now it's attached to crypto, right, in a way. Now there's like OMI tied to it, so now there's could be some sort of like crypto or like OMI tie-in with some of these like referrals, right? I think that'd be kind of cool. Maybe some of those held back collectibles, you know, like the sub 40 mints and stuff like that, maybe occasionally those can kind of get given out to people that are like top tier referrers, right? If you get a ton of referrals, maybe Veve every like 6 months or something like that, whoever refers the most people, they get given, you know, X amount of collectibles or whatever it is. I mean, there's a million ways they can kind of go into it. I've been in referral programs before, and they're all interesting. It really just depends on the company, right? Have any of you guys played EVE Online before? I don't know if you guys knew this, but I had like an EVE Online like YouTube channel for some time, and it was a lot of fun. I did it during COVID for like 2 years or something like that, and I eventually just got such a big following that like the company reached out to me and asked me to be an affiliate. They just told me like, hey, you just have to keep making content, like just do whatever you want. And then they kind of gave me kickbacks and like ship skins and all kinds of stuff. And they also gave me stuff I could just give away. Like every month they gave me these skins you can get on ships, but they're only for content creators, right? So there'll only be like 700 or 800 in circulation, and so they would do giveaways, and they specifically said like you cannot trade these for financial gain. Do not trade them for like in-game money, out-of-game money, like anything. Like these are designed for giveaways and engagement and all kinds of stuff. And they're like, okay. And so pretty much exactly what I did, and that was a lot of fun. So Veve could do something like that. I don't know, but it's going to be, will it get new users on board? I mean, it's definitely going to help people post more about Veve, right? And tell their friends and post more about it. But I don't think like more people are going to join Veve now that it's like, oh, if you use my referral code, you get, 5 gems free or a free collectible. I don't think that's necessarily the case, but it could happen. I mean, it's going to come down to Veve and or the community to really push this, right? So I'm excited for it. I'm kind of curious to see what their what their plans are with that like referral program. Have they said any details about it, or at least like a rough outline or sketch about ideas? Love to hear about it if there is, but that's a good question, JKRB. I appreciate it. I'll have to talk more about it later. I'll be honest, I haven't made content consistently for like the last like 6 months, so probably to a year at this point. And I'm sure most of the time, if you're part of like some sort of referral program, ideally you kind of follow some sort of structure. When I was doing the EVE Online thing, it was I think it was like 2 videos a month, which was like very simple. I mean, I did that in 3 days. Usually I made a video every day or like every other day, but usually there's some sort of thing that's like not so much like you have to promote like content that supports the platform or only positive content. You can make it about whatever you want, but there was like some sort of things like, all right, if you're going to be a content creator, you have to make content every to this every week or whatever it is. So Veve also does a lot of secret fans, such as celebrities, pro athletes, huge influencers. Veve also does have a lot of secret fans. Yeah, that would be interesting too. Do you think most of them are like top wallets and stuff? Because I mean, pro athletes, celebrities, and huge influencers do have a lot of money. So do you think some of them are just kind of being flying under the radar? They're like a top, maybe like 500 wallet, but they just don't say anything. They might hang out in spaces under like a different name. They'll like people's posts, but they just don't really say anything. That could be the case. Sup. Any new drops or info on Veve today? No, no new drops today. Has there been any like big announcements from like Veve recently? Just this like Scotty Young cover for this new drop coming out soon. But I think that's it. I've first heard of Veve from Andre Jank. Yeah, a lot of people. Dino came from there. Like a lot of people came from there, and then also even from friends. I mean, I was kind of introduced to it by a friend when Marvel like kind of came out, and then once like Golden Moments came out, he like doubled down. I was like, hey, you need to like get on this. I'm like, all right, let me take a look. Veve. But he called it Veve, so I looked it up, but nothing showed up on Google, so I didn't come back around to it for another like 2 months later. Yep. That's kind of funny. Veve. I wonder what happened. I'm gonna Google Veve right now and just see what's on there. Veve. Veve.com. Yeah, it's all these different like stocks. It's like a ticker symbol for something, so I don't know. Whatever. A tab on Disney Plus would probably do wonders. It would. I still think for these huge IPs, I still think the whole NFT space is very low resolution. I don't know how much utility they're going to implement, yeah, there just needs to be more legal clarity on NFTs and blockchain and crypto and all these kind of things. And so maybe the big IPs like especially Disney, maybe they're waiting for all that stuff to kind of get fleshed out first before they start publicly saying, oh yeah, we've had these like NFT digital collectibles for like 5 years and no one knew. And there's still just a lot of animosity and misunderstanding around blockchain and NFTs and all that stuff, despite Bitcoin going over 100K, despite all these things, despite big companies spending a lot of money, hedge funds, everything into Bitcoin blockchain technology. People are still against it. So I think it's more of like they want to get money too, but there's also like the publicity part that they have to kind of keep in mind. So that's just my take on it. I could be completely wrong, or maybe they're ready to pull the trigger any moment to do it, but I don't remember where I heard about Veve from. Pretty sure it was a crypto moonshot back when Todd and Rizzo were on the shelf. Todd sat there for the longest time with no one buying. Yeah, that's crazy. Then all it was, people snatched up the last 3,000 of them in a day. That's crazy. So like 40% of it just got sold like instantly in a day. That's nuts. And considering that, people forget this all the time. We'll go back to the Grail talk in a little bit. I know we kind of went on a little tangent here, but like Todd was 80 gems back in the day. How much was Rizzo? Was he more? $70. Okay. Yeah, so Todd was always the most expensive despite being the common. Yeah, that is interesting. That's something I didn't even think about. Yeah, because like Joe Mad was 45, but Todd being the lowest, he's a common, but he's the most expensive. But like 80 gems. Can you imagine spending 80 gems today on a collectible? Like on a drop, right? Something like Todd, of course. But back in the day, let's like very first drop, whole project's new. People don't even know if it's going to exist in 6 months from now. But like, you have people, I give props to people that were on Veve early. That's a lot of gems back in the day. And this is like pre-bull run, all that stuff, right? So those are the people that really kicked off the app. All right. Okay, back to this page. So, I don't know. Would you guys kind of agree? And I just kind of grabbed random pictures. In my mind, I think the ones on the right are more community-driven, Veve-driven type grails, right? I know there's a few I missed. Some people think like Noir and a few others like deserve to be on this list, but I think that one's hedged more towards like the scarcity aspect than. It took forever to convince people Todd was the standout piece, although Rizzo has always been more expensive on the secondary. Yeah, that is true. There are less Rizzos, and on top of that, maybe people just like the ultra rare aspect or whatever it is, but yeah, Rizzo was always more expensive in the secondary, and people have talked about it for a while that like Todd is going to flip Rizzo, right? It was going to take like a very long time, but people thought Todd was going to flip Rizzo. Is that still the... It's not Rizzo, right? It's not RZZO. That's not how you spell it. That's like the nickname everyone gives it, but why is this thing? It's like Riz. I think it's S, right? There it is. Not Rizzo. Yeah, okay, so he's still significantly more than Todd right now. He's pretty much double the price of Todd. Yeah, he only has 1750, so it makes sense. Man, that's pretty scarce, though. Do you guys think there's going to be a time where Todd flips Rizzo? I think there could be, given enough time. Web3V, is Veve like Quid? In what sense? What's up, Web3V? Well, all these are like 3D AR. You can do them on the app. You could do like actual AR with like the real world around you. Obviously the IPs, the licenses. Probably need more categories for Grails, Super Grails, Mini Grails, OG Grails. Yeah, I think there's going to get to the point where, of course, each IP is going to have like their Grails. Then there's going to be like blue chips and stuff like that. So obviously, it could kind of like move around. I don't think you want like too many categories, because then it's a little over the place. But Toby's the #1 Grail on Veve. Every Toby. Every Toby, people need to stop sleeping on Toby. Yeah, I remember people were using Tobies to, it's like gem mules and things like that, which is kind of funny. Yeah, rushing Toby, all these ones. Yeah, he was a good meme for a long time, Toby. I didn't realize there were so many of them. I forgot this one had like 2 commons and like an airdrop like secret rare, which was kind of funny. I'm sure there's more I'm missing on the right here, but I think the ones on the left are pretty self-explanatory. And again, it's part of the big 3 or 4 that I mentioned. So I think that if Veve survives and ends up being relevant years and years from now, it will be inevitable, but it will take a long time. Yeah, I don't think when people were saying like we were early, I don't think a lot of people realized like how early we were, right? Like on Veve, it's like, I mean, I didn't expect Veve to be where it's at right now, you know, years later. Like, the price of the collectibles are much lower than I thought, to be honest, right? But a lot of other aspects of the Veve app, now that I've kind of gotten a bit more realistic with, like, how long it takes to, like, develop stuff. But on top of that, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff coming out, you know? There's crafting and airdrops, and Omi to NFT, like, all this stuff, and Veveverse is around the corner. Yeah, there's a lot of exciting stuff kind of coming up. Real Hananu vibes. Let's go 2 times in a week. Are we back full time getting ready for affiliates? Yes and no, I would say. I mean, since the new year, things have just slowed down a bit at my work. So part of the problem with Todd is that a lot of people still have stacked, which suppresses the price. Yeah, we can even I mean, that's gonna happen. That happens when anyone kind of stacks anything, right? But it's true. I mean, eventually, I mean, those people that have stacks of, you know, 5, 10, 50, 100, whatever it is, I mean, eventually they're going to start getting down to the point where they're like, oh, wait, I don't have enough to comfortably sell. That was priced at 404. I was going to check here. Is this still not? Yeah, Dr. Prov has 216, 127. I mean, considering that the top 8 holders, man, dude, this app, dude, this website, I really want to use it, but it's just hard for me to like use it right now. I know it's going under like an update and everything, but it's, I don't know, for some reason I thought the top 8 holders would have more Todds in general. I know the top 3 would be huge, but I don't know, I thought like the top 6, like the lowest person on the 6 would have like 40, but I mean, this is still a lot. But considering that there's 7,500 Todds, I mean, how many are here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like 600 Todds right at the top. So like 10% of the supply is held by these people, you know, and the other 90% are just out in random accounts, right? So, Adro, what's good, dude? What's good, vibes? Yeah, dude, we're just hanging out, doing a little bit of Grail talk. I also think comic books are still underrated on Veve. I remember when I first got into it, it was all about the collectibles, not many people were talking about comics. Even today, people say Grail. Even today, people say Grail, it's Todd. Yeah, I mean, Todd is the most obvious one, right? It's the first one on the app, but it's got a ton of going for it. That's the most obvious one. Comics is another big one, too. Yeah, there's a lot of Grails on comics. That's kind of true. I mean, it's just 2 different mediums. I don't think you can kind of compare the 2. I don't know. It's almost like comparing like two very different things. Because I think another thing too is, I mean, this is a whole new thing, right? Comics is like a well-established community. There's already like a tier list and like FAs and all that stuff built in, so comics are much more figured out. But even then, like on Veve, right, there's mint numbers, there's like secret rare covers and alternate cover. Like there's a lot going for comics, right? And I think it's going to be cool for comic collectors to like join the space and be like, oh wow, there's more stuff to collect than just like the base covers or like alternate covers. Like there's a lot of other cool stuff to collect. And I have noticed like mint collecting has gone up a lot in the last like year and a half, I'm just seeing way more activity on Twitter and other places where people are basically like specifically aiming at certain mint numbers and things like that. I think it's just because the drops have slowed down like a little bit, right? And there's people out there that want to collect stuff, and I do think people, mint numbers are going to be valued later. I think the old app is better. In some ways, I would agree. Yes. I did like the old app for a lot of different reasons. Let me see the old app. It was kind of nice being able to like have the market open and like multiple tabs on like the old app. Now you like have to go to the market tab to go to the market. Before you could like go to your collection and like look at the market, but then also look at the market under the other tab. And like there was a way you could almost have like 3 market tabs. You could look at 3 different things at the same time, like on your phone. Now that's pretty much like all gone. You have to go to the market tab. Ideally, they also find a way to fit like more collectibles like on the normal screens. It's like you go to the market tab and there's it's like 4 collectibles, and then you have to click this very, 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 very tiny see all button. And then you see the same 4 collectibles you just looked at the top. Or maybe not the same 4, because, sometimes a little bit of a delay. I also feel like they could zoom in a little bit more on the collectibles. It just feels like there's so much just like empty space behind them. And I do agree. I kind of preferred the darker background. I don't know what it was, but it did make stuff like slightly like higher quality. I don't know how to explain it. But with the new app, everything is just so bright in the background and static. More. Yeah, I mean, in some ways I like the old app. In some ways I like the new app. There's some cool things. I do like this little like view in 3D button at the top. I do like how you can like easily relist things like you couldn't before. There's still a lot going for it, and they're still fleshing it out, obviously, right? They're always doing improvements, so. I only picked up my battle statue for 25 gems. I should have waited. It fell lower to 22. What are you looking at? I'm looking at, let me go back to here. You guys want to see my, I'm looking at like a combination of things. I'm already starting to sell some stuff and kind of like restructure my collection because I'm starting to find out I just have a lot of stuff. It's not junk, right? But it's definitely stuff that I liked in the moment, but maybe I don't love now, or I just value the liquidity over that collectible. Like I might start slowly liquidating some of these saber tooths. It's just too soon after the drop to sell it. I'm going to wait about a month after the drop, maybe a little bit longer, till a lot of the delistings happen. So now the floors are kind of thin. Because when did this drop? December 17th. So that means delistings should happen in about 2 weeks. 1, 2, yeah, in about a little over 2 weeks. A lot of the saber tooths could start being delisted, and we go from having, I mean, these are still in the store, but maybe we go from having saber tooth, like this ultra rare that I kind of got caught holding. He's going for what, 14 right now? 16. I thought I saw 14. Going for 16 right now, and there's how many on the market? 59. Maybe after delisting it goes down to 29, and now there's only a few listings, and it's only 2 or 3 sales away from now being up to 35 or something like that. So not a huge rush to sell this, but I do want to wait. Go back more. Yeah, there's a few other things I do want to sell. There's just like a lot of like one-ofs I have, and I do like my collection, but I also do want to kind of take some of the fat off. Or there's some FAs I'm like, okay, I could always circle back around and like buy again or whatever. Like they're still cheap. So, and a lot of, I will say the collectibles are hard to sell because a lot of them, I remember why I bought it. Like this stamp one, for example, like I could sell it, but I will say it is getting me decent MCP. I think it's a 1 set bonus with just the rare. And that's the other thing I need to keep in mind is like I still want to kind of keep my daily MCP up. I don't want to just chop it in half because I want to start selling stuff, but that list is outdated. Vibe Zone 6,900 Tods. I couldn't say 6,900. You guys say 6,900 Tods, which is a lot. I own the other 90% of the supply. Yeah. I should have waited on Jim Lee Batman. He was under 4 gems yesterday. I could have saved a gem. Jim Lee Batman. Yeah, it is. You're never gonna time the top or the bottom. I mean, I thought I was timing the bottom on AF15 like a year ago or whenever I bought it. I waited like a year and a half for that to like finally go down in value down to like 300. And I'm like, all right, this thing is bounced off of 300 like 4 or 5 times. I think this is the bottom, and I bought it at like 300 or 3 whatever. And then like a few months later, I went right down to like 250, then 200. I'm like, holy moly. So it could always go lower, but I've been buying again, mainly the older stuff. I'm also going for certain drops. I'm also going for certain drops for the Chaser. Bought a bunch of new dynamic comics too. I do need to start getting back into the comics, especially some of the newer ones that are dropping, like Dynamite and stuff. I say Dynamic or whatever. Dynamite comics. I really just need to like slim down my collection a little bit, and really just kind of focus on the things that I really like and enjoy, and that I also think could also sell for a decent amount, right? Like I like collecting, but at the end of the day, like I'm kind of collecting most of this stuff mostly to sell. Like at some point I'm going to sell this, right? As David mentioned, can't wait for the Star Trek stuff that's coming. Did he say something about Star Trek? Like David, you? I really want more Star Trek stuff. There's a lot of IPs I would love to see on Veve, just because I'm like a huge nerd. Of course, there's sports and music and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, I like that. But there's still a lot of like a nerdy stuff I want to see on Veve, for the most part. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm like, gosh, I have hundreds of collectibles, hundreds of comics. I could probably slim some of this down and get that Superman I never bought, or get that other collectible I can get or afford, but yeah, it's going to come at a sacrifice. I'll probably have to sacrifice some MCP, like daily MCP, just to kind of slim down my collection, for the most part. Like this one, disgusting. I looked at this the other day. Spider Woman 277 interview. Sorry, you paid 110. So I paid 110 gems for this. I don't know how long ago. Now it's going for like 277. Yeah, man, in our interview, did you miss that alpha? You know what? I think I did. I watched like the first 10 minutes and I had to leave and do something else. And then there was another interview with him and like Superstar Money. I had more time that day and I watched that, and I forgot to like circle back to this interview. So I'll definitely have to watch it. But if you mentioned something about Star Trek, I might have to buy some. I've been holding off on some Star Trek stuff, but are they going up? I'm gonna look right now. The avocado is still, the space avocado is still going for, what's it going for right now? Like 55? Yeah, going for 55. I remember I convinced, me and my dad were huge Star Trek fans, and I remember I told him about this drop. And I specifically told him, like, because this dropped in, what, 2022? I specifically told him, like, hey, like, because we've already seen 9 months of just the market going down, right? So this is in September of 2022. I remember I specifically told my dad, I'm like, Dad, I know you like Star Trek. There's the Romulan Warbird's going to release. I'm like, do not buy it in the store. You know, don't buy it in the store. Wait for the market, because I know you can buy it for, like, half price or, like, cheaper. He's like, okay. And then sure enough, that day, he's like, look what I got. You know, like on the drop. The market wasn't even open yet. He's like, look what I got. I'm like, good for you. I couldn't tell him that he messed up, but I think later on I told him, like, hey, by the way, whenever you're going for something, you know, just ask me. I'll let you know if, like, you should get in the market or just buy it off the store. Like, just, you know. So that was kind of funny. I really like the Vampirilla arts. The art is great. Yeah, I'll have to go and get in those Dynamite comics. This is the David, or not the Ben Rose interview. When was that? Was this recently? I gotta look it up now. Man, that's tough. There's another Uncommon podcast. This is the real Uncommon podcast. There we go. Joins us on. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was 9 days ago. I'll have to check out that stream. I did not see that stream, to be honest. I watched your guys' recent one. Yeah, I must have just missed that one. I'll have to definitely watch that. All right. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out. I mean, if he said there's more Star Trek coming, I'm down. And I think now, not financial advice, but now's a pretty good time. I mean, if you just want like a standard Enterprise, you can get it for less than 10 gems. But if you want one, you know, this one's nice. This one's going for like third a box. 130 gems was the original price on this Enterprise. Now it's going for 30. Same thing with the Borg cubes. The Warbird. Yeah, I would buy the Warbird if it was a little bit cheaper, but there's only 3 on the market, so that makes it tough. I mentioned that a D Space Nine diorama would be so... Dude, that would be sick. D Space Nine. Sorry for the burp. I don't know what else I would want. Would you want the real Hinano? Do you know the shuttles well? Like the shuttles within the ships? Would you want like the little shuttles that they use? I don't know the names, but I know there's been different shuttles for different Enterprises and stuff. So, Tin Horvat, what's good, dude? What's the price of the Mickey Steamboat Ultra Rare? Let's see if I can remember. It was like one. What was the price? It was like 140. Let me see if I remember correctly. I'll just put Willie. I'm getting in trouble for typing that, but the app knows what I mean. All together now. 114. Okay, not 140. So yeah, it's going for like 120, 115, 120 right now. I'm ready for more Trek. I want figures. Yeah. Would you start wanting like actual people from Enterprise? Like, would you want like Kirk and Spock and the Borg? And I would get the Ferengi. I think the Ferengi would be hilarious. I would love to get some Ferengi, get some big-eared folk in my vault, tickling some lobes. Anyway, hi Vibes. Will Captain Kirk FA be a Grail? It depends on the mint numbers, to be honest. And if Star Trek just kind of keeps coming out with content or movies and stuff like that, I do think what was like the last like Star Trek movie? Because people did like Star Trek after those movies that came out with like J.J. Abrams, like Star Trek Into Darkness, all those movies. Here, I'll show you guys. You guys remember these movies? Oh wait, like these movies. Like my roommate, he admits he was like not into Star Trek like at all. And when I say Star Trek, I'm talking like Next Generation, Deep Space, not like the shows. But when other people hear Star Trek, they think of the movies, right? They think of like J.J. Abrams, these kind of movies, which was a good introduction for, you know, the Star Trek has always been about, you know, society and morality and social issues and all that stuff. That's something it's always tackled, right? But you know, this show, the movies don't tackle any of that stuff just because it's, you know, it's kind of boring, or maybe it's you know, other shows just do it better or whatever. So, like, when was the last movie that came out for Star Trek? I just feel like there just hasn't been any content for Star Trek in a while, like movie wise or any of that stuff. So, I do think Captain Kirk will be FA, but he's going to be like a Grail on Veve. He'll be a Grail in Star Trek community, but everyone outside of that, they might be like, oh, it's kind of cool. Maybe they'll buy it for the meme, like William Shatner or something like that. I don't know. But like, will it be a Grail? Will everyone unanimously agree it's a Grail? No. But to me and Hinano, or maybe other Star Trek collectors, or if the mint numbers are super low, or if he does a really badass. God, some of the fight scenes were just so cringe. That's part of the reason why I could not. I'll have to like tough through watching the original series, because I watched the first, I watched like a handful of episodes. It would kind of like jump around, but like the fighting and the action, it's pretty dated. And I think I get the gist of the show through YouTube shorts and memes and cuts and Spock dying. Like everyone's seen those scenes. So the captains as a drop. Ooh, who's your favorite captain, Slider? Kirk, Cisco, Picard, Janeway, Pike. Yeah, those are the top 5. That's what everyone wants. No one wants. I'm trying to think of another captain. Maybe people weren't a fan of or whatever. Jason Pina, hey Vibe, still waiting for the right artwork piece to drop. Haven't seen any of those in a while. Never any on the market. Yeah, it's because it's a 101. So I mean, usually people buy those to keep it, or if they list it on the market, right, it gets delisted after 30 days. Like, I mean, even if I bought a 1 of 1, I wouldn't remember to like relist it every 30 days or something like that, even if I did like it. Now it would be kind of cool to own a 101 piece. I think that in and itself could kind of put you in a club, right? Like if you can afford a 101, even the cheapest 1 of 1, right? I don't know if there's a group out there already, but people that own 101s, it would be kind of cool. It's just like I don't even know what the cheapest ones have gone for. Picard, the show ended last year. The Pike show is still going with Stranger. I have not seen that, and I know Hinano's asked me to watch that for like a year at this point, and I've not done it, and I need to do it. I've just been caught up with other shows like, oh my gosh, what's that Dune show that came out recently? And then there's also Secret Level, and there's like anime I'm watching. There's a lot of shows I'm trying to like watch, and I'm also like dealing with like career stuff and all that. So it's like there's a lot to do, but I do want to watch Strange New Worlds. I've been like, I need some Star Trek in my life. Let's say that. This is a vibe, 100%. Yes, sir, Shankster. What's up, dude? Yeah, sorry's on a call. Yeah, David mentioned more Star Trek stuff and a few other stuff that he let slip. Ooh, see, that's you got to get David interview on these interviews. He always lets stuff slip. Right. I'm sure there's stuff for Star Trek coming out. We just don't know when, right? It's kind of crazy how Veve already has drops like made or secured, but they're just planned out like till like September or whatever, right? Remember the Jurassic Park drop, like the gates. Jurassic Park, like the gate. Remember, did they like finish the gates in like 22 or like 21? Like they had the IP, they did the gates and everything, but they were just like, oh, we just didn't think it was like a good time to release it, or there was something going on. I guess they wanted to release it like in conjunction with like a movie or something like that. But it's like yeah, this thing has been ready for like over 18 months and they just didn't drop it. So there's probably already Star Trek stuff just done. It's just like, all right, we're waiting for the schedule to come out, or maybe waiting for the green light for them to drop it. So my favorite is Picard. Okay, I've heard mixed reviews about Picard. I've heard some people say they liked it all the way through, and then some other people are like, don't bother with the first 2 seasons, watch the third, or they're just like, you can watch the first 2, but the third one's the best. I've heard different things, but I won't know until I watch it. I would love an evolvable drop of the Enterprise. Ooh, if you made like a modular thing, right? The little detachable part, you buy one piece, you get the other piece, you put them together, right? Boom, that's it right there. You got to get the disc, and you got I don't know what the other part's called. I know you know what it's called, but there's the disc part, and then there's the other part of the ship. I don't know what that's called, but if you get those 2 pieces, you crap them together, bang, you get that. Picard stacked Bitcoin, did he? That's why. I know he's like pretty. Is he like wealthy in the show? Like I know he owns like I remember seeing some scenes. He like owns a vineyard, and there's like Romulans that like work it or whatever. But because the whole concept of like currency and all that doesn't really exist. I don't know, there's kind of some conflicting stuff, but like I don't think currency really exists in the world of Star Trek because they've kind of gone beyond that. They're like, we have replicators now. We can just replicate any resource. There's not a lot of wars. There's no famine. There's like once the like. The big piece of technology that came out with Star Trek, or at least like what they said revolutionized like technology, was like the replicator and the warp drive. Like replicator means you can make food, you can make gold, you can make whatever you want, and then warp travel meant like, oh, we can make food and water or whatever and resources, and we can travel fast. Like those are the 2 big things that kind of like revolutionized Star Trek, and arguably probably the replicator was the bigger one. Star Trek Picard Season 3 was the best on TV in a very long time. Yes, sir. The Battle Bridge. Yes. The Battle Bridge. But is that the other part of the ship? Or is that the disc? I would love a craftable thing like that. That'd be kind of cool. What I'm still looking forward to is this. Let me see if I can do it. A Klingon Bird of Prey, dude. This is what I want on Veve right here. Bird of Prey would look super cool on Veve. Bird of Prey and God, there was another ship. It's been a minute. I'll have to think about it, but there's another ship I thought was like really cool. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But now we're starting to get talking about Star Trek. I love Star Trek, but I'm looking forward to more of it. I hope they have a Deep Space Nine, either diorama or an actual collectible, right? That would be sick. Maybe like a wormhole action. Remember the Deep Space Nine wormhole? Wait, was that wormhole always open or did it close occasionally? I don't remember. But either way, I think it would be cool to have a collectible of like the wormhole or something like that. That would be kind of cool too. It almost kind of reminds me of like the Stargate, which I will say Stargate is cheap right now. I'll just say that. Stargate is 11. I think the box price for these were 35. But if the wormhole had an animation, not like this, but you know, you could see it creating itself and getting large, and then it stabilizes, and then you know you kind of do stuff, and then you can maybe you tap it once, it like creates the wormhole, and you tap it again, it kind of closes the wormhole. That'd be kind of cool, for like a collectible. But yeah, the Stargates are going for like below 13 right now. So if you're a Stargate fan and you've been kind of eyeballing this, I mean, this is going for like less than half box price. So. The Defiant, yeah, that's what I was thinking about. The Defiant would be super cool. It's been I knew it started with the D. I'm like, I forgot what the name of it was. Defiant was super cool. Everything in Abundance. I need FA Godzilla and King Kong, dude. That would be big too. That'd be cool. If we also got other kaijus, I don't know. I think it would be cool to get something like Pacific Rim too. Remember all like the big Jaegers from like Pacific Rim? That'd be kind of sick too. Jason P and everything in abundance. I don't know. Are you just is it like a term or something? But I agree. King Kong and Godzilla would be cool. Can we get a third appearance of Superman drafting the new movie? How many Supermans do we have? We have 2 Supermans, right? Oh yeah, we do have that second one here. Superman versus Flash. That's a good call. I kind of forgot about him. Maybe. I haven't seen the new show too much. I actually did watch the show when I was visiting family for like Thanksgiving and stuff. I did watch a little bit of like that new show. It's kind of cool. Yeah, Pacific Rim is a good movie. I think Pacific Rim kind of caught a lot of people off guard, like in a good way. I think a lot of people. God, when did that movie come out? I gotta look it up. Pacific Rim. That came out in 2013. Wow, it's been 11 years, almost 12 years since it came out. I don't know what like month it came out, but yeah, okay, so July. So in July, it's going to be 12 years since the movie came out. I know a lot of people thought this was going to be just kind of like a throwaway, you know, summer action blockbuster, just like whatever movie. Like, okay, show up, you get some action scenes, but it actually had like a cool story. The Jaegers were cool, the kaijus were cool. I wouldn't mind to get some of these things. Like this would actually be kind of cool to get on Veve. And I know this is like Uprising, but like just the original ones were cool. God, these pictures are so like yeah, the pictures are so 2013. I don't know what else to say. I'm like, God, these are like low res, but I'm like, oh yeah, these pictures are from like over a decade ago. That's why they're all probably on like 480 or something like that. There it is. See, like that. Godzilla versus these guys. It'd be pretty cool. The Grails, they're here. I will say another thing that people forget. I know it's like obvious, but there's not that many double FAs on Veve. You know, and Walt's one of them, right? How much do you guys think a solo Walt Disney NFT would go for, and how much a solo FA Mickey would go for? We have Alien, so when Predator? Yeah, Predator's another big... We have the Predator comic, don't we? Like, we have comics with Predator in it. I know that's through comics and stuff, and, you know, it's licensed through, looks like Fox, I guess, or whoever. I'm just going to grab a random one here. Yeah, Predator versus Black Panther. That's pretty cool. It's like Fox 20th Century Studios, so... I don't think we have the Predator license, or whoever owns the Predator license, but that would be cool. Star Trek, utopian civilization, everything in abundance. Ah, okay. That's what you meant. Okay. That is true, yeah. It's kind of, I mean, it's kind of like, if you watch enough Star Trek, of course, it's like a lot of the shows, sometimes they'll say some things that are like counterintuitive, or things that like they'll actually mention currency, like within like the United Federations and stuff like that. I thought Picard said something like that. He had some like, he liked collecting like old artifacts and stuff from like old civilizations. I thought like there was a few times he said he like paid for stuff like on, I don't know, maybe it's one of those things like maybe like we don't believe in currency, but if another culture or alien species does, maybe we do too, who knows. Are you going to get the physical collection of the Bat Cow comics? Could be pretty scarce. Are you going to get the physical collection of the Bat Cow comics? Bat Cow comics. Do they have those out? Like, are the physicals out? If there is, I'll definitely try and get some, because I do think, like, I'm still on candy, and that kind of reminds me, I might need to circle back around, and that's another reason why I'm kind of like liquidating some gems, because I might want to take some out. It just depends on how many gems I end up selling and how many collectibles. I haven't really planned it out yet, but I do need to like take inventory on my stuff, like, because I feel like it's only going to get harder to sell stuff as I collect more things, and as my like collection gets bigger. I'm like, all right, I think now is the time to kind of start slowly selling things and then kind of acquiring grails or other things I'm interested in. Battle statue with Alien versus Predator would be sick. I remember when I saw that movie in theaters, it was really badass, but I was a little disappointed that like one alien killed two predators. I'm like, wait, aren't these things like designed to hunt? Vibe selling anything on Stacker yet? Not on Stacker. I might. That's actually a good idea. I didn't think about that, Jason. Battle statue of Kirk and Spock. Yes, sir. Look at this. Here we go. Bear with me. Is this the fight? Are we gonna watch it? I don't know if I want to do any sound, but here we go. Whoa. This is peak fighting right here. I think I was a little too young to like get into this, you know, but as I'm older, I think I could probably stomach this a bit more. You know, I'm a bit more mature, and you know, I know it's more about the story, not the action, right? But yeah, this is good job, Kirk. Yep. Kirk was always just a grizzled, hard-nosed country boy. Never give up. Never surrender. He's kind of a, in a weird way, obviously he's, you know, a womanizer and all that stuff, or alienizer or whatever. But in a way, he's kind of like the embodiment of like the human, like, not just like spirit, but it's like, we want to explore, we want to do these things, we're going to fight for it. But Spock. Get wrecked. It's almost done. Thank God. She kind of looks like a mantis there, almost like kind of like a bug or something like that. I think she's Vulcan. Yeah, she's got to be. It's got to be like some sort of like Vulcan Council thing or whatever. Spock's always trying to prove himself to the Vulcans in one way or another, right? Ferengi love money. I would love some Ferengi. I would like Ferengi hilarious, dude. I would love Cork. Cork would be hilarious. Get some what's it called? Dude, it's been so long since I've watched the show, but yeah, I still remember it. It's like gold pressed latinum. That's what it's called. Give me some gold pressed latinum, dude. I would love that as like a currency. Just if Veve just dropped gold pressed latinum, like little bars, and like, oh, they're just a gem each, and there's 10,000. Dude, I would buy so many, and just have a huge stack of it. Like I think it'd be kind of cool if Veve just did stuff. And it's just like Veve IP, right? You can make a gold bar. It doesn't need to represent anything. It's just a gold bar. Like I think it'd be kind of cool if they did some more items like that, where it's just like just general cool little, you know, utility items. Oh, there you are. Yeah, good pressed latinum. Yeah, gold pressed latinum. Yes, Dabo chips, Dabo girls. God, what's it? You guys gotta make me look that up. I'm gonna look it up on my other screen just in case. Oh, are they just like girls kind of hanging out? Are they like sisters? It's been so long since I've watched the show. I might need to like rewatch it, or maybe certain episodes. Yes, Batman: The Legacy Cal Chapters 1 through 3 Deluxe Edition open on the 10th of December for pre-orders and available until the 12th of January. It's $50, so not too bad. I'm definitely getting. Okay, thank you for reminding me that. Is there a link, Austin? You can shoot me either on like. Is there a link or something like either on the stream or like in Discord or something like not Discord? Sorry, on X. Which, by the way, I do want to launch my Discord soon. I need to work with some other person in the community that's like helping me do the Discord, but I do want to launch it soon because I do want to start being more interactive with like Veve outside of just the stream, right? And like X, I'd like to talk with you guys, help you guys promote some stuff. I think it'd be kind of cool if you guys are trying to sell certain mint numbers and things like that. I might just open the Discord and just kind of remind people like, hey, Hinano's trying to sell this thing. He's trying to sell this. If you guys are interested, it's on the market. Also, probably do some like Pokemon Pocket stuff, you know, whatever it is. Just on the Discord, not on live stream. But it's going to be a place for like different hobbies, not just Veve. So someone's got to take the Jim Carrey sounds from Cable Guy. Yeah. I will say, I don't think I've seen Cable Guy from beginning to end. I've seen a bajillion scenes, but I have not seen it from beginning to end. And that kind of reminds me of another thing I'm embarrassed to admit, but I did not watch Fight Club from beginning to end until about 3 weeks ago, which is kind of crazy. My roommate kind of like forced me to watch it. He's like, you haven't seen Fight Club? I'm like, no. He's like, all right, we're watching it. It's kind of one of those like few movies you have to watch at some point in your life. Captain Kirk fighting the Snake Man on a deserted planet was my favorite. Yeah. Imagine a super low edition Jar Jar Binks, basically a meme Grail. I mean, that's a good call, Pixel. Are there any meme Grails on Veve? Can anyone think of that? Like a meme Grail on Veve? I do know people were. I don't know if you guys remember the Jurassic Park like posters. There was like Jurassic Park 30th anniversary. What was the these things? It's in my collection. I'll show you guys really quick. It's the posters. Remember there was like was it German or there's like a different language, and people were like, oh, these are like Grail because there's only like a handful of them, but it was kind of a meme, but like people are focusing on the scarcity. I don't think that's like a meme Grail, but stuff where there's like typically either a funny story behind it or whatever. But yeah, that's interesting. Jar Jar Binks. That'd be a good meme Grail. You know what? I do know a meme Grail. I do know one. This one, Invisible Woman. This is arguably probably like the first like meme Grail, right? Or just like joke. on Veve or whatever, but oh, we got some like low mint numbers here. You guys are interested in the invisible. I remember this was like a, wasn't this like a, it wasn't like a secret airdrop. I think they did announce it and it was 1 gem, but like not a lot of people bought it. But I mean, if you want this invisible woman statue, you know, FA meme drop, going for like less than 11 gems. But Jar Jar Binks would be a grail. Him and, I think of like another like kind of annoying character. Gold pressed Latinum bars, new currency after gems. It really should be. Instead of a green truck, Veve should use a treasure chest when you open it to see what you got on drop. That would be kind of cool. Treasure chest or... Yeah, I mean, they... I will admit, I do think before, you know, they do all kinds of like crazy advertising or whatever their... I don't know what their plans are, but I do think they can improve on like the opening experience in general. I do think... like Cryptoys did a fantastic job doing that. Candy isn't like much better, but at least you can, the thing I like about Candy is you could just sell the drop, right? Like you play the drop, you don't have to open the package that tells you if it's a, you know, like a legendary or a core comic or whatever. You can just keep it and you could just sell it to the next person. They can kind of gamble on the drop, right? Or if they want to. And arguably, and I've said this a long time, arguably those unopened things are part of the set. So if people want a set of a comic or a collectible or whatever it is, and if there's like an unopened box or like Cryptoys is like a cube, right? Unopened. I do like the fact that you can keep unopened things. It kind of reminds me of like Pokemon or any of that stuff, right? It's like I would love to just like buy stuff, buy the box and just hold it, and just kind of like let the price just organically grow as the things go up. Let me catch up with chat really quick. But I do agree. I think they should drop the gold truck, not the gold truck, the green truck as an like a drop or like an NFT, like literally the green truck itself should be like an NFT on Veve. I think it'd be cool if they did that as like the last drop before they switch it to like a different, you know, like a treasure chest or something like that. I think it'd be cool if they did something like that. No way Kirk beats Spock. Spock thinks several steps ahead. Yeah. I think Kirk, I think Spock kind of let him win there. Let Kirk win. Because aren't Vulcans, like, physically and mentally, like, better than humans? And even emotionally, too, because they, like, emotionally regulate themselves. But there's a lot to it. It's very interesting. Isn't Admiral Akbar beam Grail? I don't know. Arguably, yes. I don't know. I mean, he was a meme before even came out on Veve, so sure, why not? At first, I'm like, well, you know, he's an actual character, but if everyone thinks he's a meme, then that's what's important, right? Same here, vibes. I've never watched Fight Club in its entirety, only sections and the ending. It's a great movie to watch from beginning to end, in my opinion. I already knew the spoiler and all that stuff at the end, but it definitely made me watch Brad Pitt a bit closer when he was talking. It just seemed like everything he's saying was, you know, like an important deal. There's a handful of joke or meme collectibles, but none are scarce grails. Yeah, that's true. I don't know how many invisible womans are there. It's not a grail, but yeah, it's only 1,000 of these. Electra's queen meme. Hopefully Fro is not here. Yeah. Electra's a bit of a meme, but there's just like a ton of mints from her. But yeah, kind of like what Pixel Trader said. There's meme collectibles, but there's no like Toby and all that stuff. Like, but none of them are scarce enough to be actually considered a grail. What's up, vibes? What's up, Gary? Mr. Singh, hi everyone. I know I saw you miss last stream. That's okay. I'm glad you're here now. We'll stream for a bit longer. We've been streaming for about an hour and a half now. Just kind of hanging out. What's up, Gary? Gold truck. If you get an SR, would be cool. That would be kind of cool. Or some sort of cool animation or something, right? It's under the drops tab on Candy. I believe you get a digital edition right away with a physical shipping in a few weeks. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. All right. Yeah, if it's there, then that's fine. I appreciate it. I'll definitely check out Candy. Which, actually, should we just... That's so zoomed in. Talking about this. Yeah, I wonder how much, it's been so long since I've been on here. Brave and the Bold Epic, 90 bucks. Gosh, Legendary going for 545. Yeah, I need to circle back. I will say I did sell a lot of stuff. Like about a year and a half ago, I would say I did cash out quite a bit on candy. I still have a lot of my stuff. I still have, it's my collection. I mean, I still have like over 50 things on candy. I think at one point I had over like 150, and I did sell quite a bit, or over 100. I could probably still sell more things, but you said it was where? It's under the drops tab on candy. Drops. And then which one is it? Absolute Bat Cow Legacy. Or this is something different. 4.0? What's this? I don't know what that is. The deluxe edition. Is it this one? 50 bucks? View drop. To be determined. Edition of. Or... wonder if this is just unlimited mints until they, you know, close it, and then they tell you the mint number. That's what it seems like. Edition of to be determined. Yeah, that's what it seems like. Okay. One purchase, two editions. When you purchase Batman Legacy Cal Edition, you're getting both the digital and physical versions. The digital version will immediately appear in your collection, while the physical hardcover will be shipped to you 6 to 8 weeks after a pre-order window closes on the 12th, which... All right, still got 6 days. I mean, I'll definitely buy one. I don't know if I'll do it like right now, but I'll definitely circle back and buy one. I'll even keep the tab open. Dropping a green truck as a collectible would be a good start for Veve creating their own IP. They could do physicals, Hot Wheels style, and digital. That could be used in Veveverse. I think so. Yeah, I do think when Veveverse launches, I do think they're going to do more of those drops. Either you can buy with MCP points, or OMI, or gems, or whatever they decide to. But I do think like simple stuff like gold bars or whatever. The stuff that's like no IP tied to it, but it's just general scenery or things you could do. I think that'd be cool. Slider, I think they should do a wild card truck that could be used for a guaranteed drop mint. A wild card truck that could be used for a guaranteed drop mint. Like you can guarantee a mint, like a certain mint on a drop. Is that what you mean? I checked the mints on DC3, and apparently there's only 533 minted, which means 533 physicals as of now. This is extremely rare in my opinion. Might stay under 1K editions. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, you know, 500 more don't get printed the last day, but we'll see. That's kind of what happened to Batcals, right? I thought Batcals had a decent amount of mints, but there was like a ton minted like the very last day, right? People always just do it last day or whatever it is, so. Oh, 522. Okay, cool. Hoping for a 2 mil MCP drop this year. I had issues getting the 1 mil MCP drop. Like buying it? Yeah, I do think they need to give whales more things to acquire for MCP points, in my opinion. You got to find some sort of like MCP sync for them to invest, you know, those MCP points into. And, you know, if you do find something that expensive, it's like, that makes them what, like 1 of 10? Right? I don't know how many people have over 2 million MCP. Obviously, Pixel Trader Year 1, but I'm sure there's more than I probably think that actually have more than, you know, 2 million MCP. The one right under 50, yes. Okay, cool. Yeah, appreciate that. I'll definitely check it out. I did not know, and I've been kind of getting more in like the digital stuff. Are you allowed to buy multiples, or is it just one? Small chance I might go for 2, because I'm starting to learn that having at least 2 of something means like you don't feels pressured or just like weird selling one of them, right? Yes, that is a wild card you can submit for a guaranteed item that is dropping. Oh, okay. Okay, so guaranteed mint. Okay, I thought you meant like a mint number, and I'm like, how would that work? Okay, so you can opt in and you're a guaranteed mint. be kind of cool. I don't know how that would work though. It's kind of what MCP points are for, like, right, for bidding to increase your chances of getting it, but I do think there'd be some drops that might have to be ineligible for that. Because imagine, Veve hasn't done this for a very long time, but could you imagine using that on something like this? Like a guaranteed mint drop? Let's see. Is it this one? Yeah. Like on this one, like the DB5, like I'm sure they would just say, I think it'd be cool if they gave some away to whale, like either like a raffle style. I don't know. You don't want to pile too many rewards at the top end of the things, right? You don't want to. I mean, whales already have millions of NCP points. I don't think they should like also just get free mints, you know, whatever they want. I think it'd be kind of cool if like once a month Veve would like raffle a ticket or something like that. And they would say like, hey, if you get this ticket, you can guarantee a drop or something like that for eligible drops, right? Not every drop's going to be eligible just for like a free mint or whatever. You still have to pay, right? But you can kind of guarantee the mint. I think that'd be kind of cool. That, or it might be something like you just pay a ton of MCP, right? Actually, I like that idea. Imagine paying 1 million MCP for like a ticket to just instantly, you know, just kind of get whatever drop you want. Maybe you can only have one, or maybe it's a once an account thing or whatever. It could be, or just the idea of just guaranteeing a drop might not line up with their you know, they're playing with Veve. I don't know. Oh, one more thing. You have called DB5 by calling it DB7. I noticed silly things like that. Yeah, I was calling it DB7 the other day. Yeah, because there's no DB. I mean, there's a person named DB7, but this is the DB5. Yeah, this is the DB5. Oh, 1 million MCP or rewarding collectors. Yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. You can guarantee a drop for like eligible drops, but then again, I mean, if you're also a whale and you're bidding 1 million MCP, you're probably going to get that drop anyway. If anything, it might just help you kind of beat out other whales for like very low mint drops. It's an interesting idea. I just don't know how they would navigate it. Like, how would you earn a ticket like that, right? And if we give people like a free ticket to just immediately acquire a collectible, then those same whales aren't using their MCP for certain drops. So sometimes MCP is not money. Some sort of MCP gambling or blind box for rare items could be a good burn. That's true, yeah. I like that idea. MCP. I was like, I don't think we want to touch Omi with that, but MCP is a good start. There is a DB7 in the real world. Yeah, it's like the newer version, right? I thought it was in like the newer James Bond movies, the DB7. Getting Pokemon will resolve all of these problems? Yeah, I don't know about that. Could, right? But even if we did get Pokemon, yeah, I mean, that alone is a huge deal. But I'm pretty sure Pokemon's kind of just doing their own thing. I mean, they released new apps. They released you know, Pokemon Pocket, all kinds of stuff. They're already kind of getting people into the idea of like, you know, digitally collecting, all that kind of stuff. I got my roommate into it. He got his girlfriend into it. I just introduced him Pokemon Pocket. I'm like, hey, like, you don't even have to play the game. You just collect. It's a cool thing. Eventually you can trade. It's just something to kind of do throughout the day. You can trade it as casually as you want, right? That's kind of the fun thing about it. So I think it's good. So even though Pokemon, you know, they're not NFTs or whatever, but it's just like getting people into the habit into just like collecting stuff digitally, right? And people showing off their collection and this card and this and that. Like, that's kind of how it starts. I don't know if just like getting Pokemon would just like solve all of Veve's problems, but it sure as hell would help. It would definitely pump our bags. Everyone gets a ticket on your birthday, guarantees you the drop. That'd be kind of interesting. Just change your birthday to like the day before, like an important drop, and then you get the ticket, right? Something like that would be cool. I do think you should get some sort of like small reward or whatever for it like being your birthday. I think that'd be kind of cool. How about ticket on Veve anniversary? Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, Veve birthday. I guess they would just do it. would it be like on the day the app launches, or is it just like on like when Todd came out? Like I'm sure the app might have been out for a little bit before Todd was released. Still looking at Star Trek stuff. We haven't really looked at the market at all today, which is kind of interesting. All right, let's just look at the highs and lows really quick, and then I'll probably jump off the stream. We're pushing almost 2 hours. Low. Okay, so these are all the stuff at like an all-time low. I mean, I like to log in. I mean, if you guys are trying to buy stuff, I'm just looking at what's at a low right now. You know, this Pitbull hoverboard, pretty low. Stuff could always go lower, but it's nice to kind of look at things that kind of have some things on your radar. Dude, these ads, I don't know what's up with all these chicks. I don't know what's going on. Necronomicon, all-time low. Yeah, a lot of these Cthulhu things are pretty low right now. Ultraman. God, I remember Ultraman pumped so much when I'm trying to remember what drop it was. Wasn't there like an announcement of like localization or something like that for, you know, one of the Southeast Asian countries, and like these like collectibles like exploded. I won't say exploded, but they definitely went up at one point. There's been a couple times where it just kind of like randomly doubles in price, but usually it flattens out after a week or so. I'll put this away. Wow, Deadpool, common, 2 gems. I guess so. No. I forgot there's 20,000 Deadpools. This is just the common. That means you forget how many mint numbers exist, and that's another thing. That's kind of another reason I'm kind of like restructuring my thing, because I do know as Veve grows, as more money flows in, as more collectors and people show up, the disparity between Grails and all the other stuff is just going to get further and further and further, you know. A day could come where just a lot of collectibles are between like 1 to 10 gems, or even like, you know, what, 1 to 20 or whatever it is. Who knows? It will be. I wonder if Veve will ever let people list stuff for less than a gem. I don't know if it's just like a system limitation or what it is. Maybe it has to cash out like at a flat dollar amount or whatever. I don't know. But I wonder if Veve will ever allow collectibles to be sold for less than a gem. Mostly comics, right? Because right now we're already kind of getting the what do you call it? Like the HRO effect, where there's just like massive walls for certain comics at like $1, or I should say 1 gem, and the only thing that separates them is mint numbers, right? I bought Pilly Fantasy 2 years ago, still waiting on AJ. Yeah, that's me. Yeah, I didn't buy any Pilly Fantasy, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people bought stuff with the expectation, you know, this, you know, these countries or these people are going to, you know, show up and start collecting again. But yeah, it can still happen. Maybe we just got to give it 2 more years. Who knows? I don't think people realize like how early we were, and we still are in a way, right? Hopefully the NFT narrative picks up towards like the, you know, middle or tail end of this like crypto bull run or whatever it is, or it might not happen until next year, like who knows. And if that's the case, then yeah, Veve will do very well. And then people are of course going to ask the questions, you know, are they NFTs, and is it connected to a blockchain, and this and this and that, and self-custody, like, you know, that's all stuff the community and everyone's gonna have to figure out. Or maybe we just aren't meant for every Web3 person, right? That one self-custody. Hey, you can still get involved through OMI, and then you can still buy stuff with crypto, but I think I don't know, maybe the term of NFT is getting a little bit more loose, and not everything has to be self-custody, right? No. But then again, you know, self-custody is nice. I mean, if you look at stuff like Netflix and other platforms that are offering like streaming services or whatever it is, I mean, a lot of those streaming services are just like removing stuff off there, right? So like digital ownership is a big deal. Like I get it. People really want to own stuff because they're tired of, you see it all the time with like video games and stuff. People buy a video game and then they shut down the servers like 2 years later, and they're like, well, I paid $60 for this. Like, I don't own it. I can't play it offline. Like, I can't do anything with the game now, right? Same thing with like movies and shows on these streaming platforms. It's like, you know, you're kind of just renting it in a sense. Just checked on the Batman physical because I'm buying one right now, and apparently you can buy a max of 5. Okay, that's cool. Or does it say it on there? I'm sure it does. And if not, I don't know if I'm gonna buy 5, but I'll probably buy 2. You know, 1 to keep, 1 to sell. And if I get really bad FOMO, maybe a third, but more than likely just like 1 or 2 on those. So, what else is at an all-time low? I'm just looking at collectibles right now because when I select comics, it just shows like a bajillion of those random comics. Invisible Woman, Sue Storm. So you're already seeing this. Like, this has already happened. There's already a lot of collectibles just hanging out around, 1 to 5 gems, right? Actually, this is a good little... So there are 17 pages of collectibles between 1 to 5 gems. And there's, what, 6, 12, 18, 24. I know you guys can't see this one. So roughly 400 collectibles, maybe more or less. I don't know. The last page depends, but like 400 collectibles between 1 to 5. And these are just the collectibles, not even the comics. These are the collectibles. So Green Lantern is low, or it was yesterday. I like Green Lantern as a, it's not financial advice. It's just something to kind of keep an eye on, right? Odds are you'll probably buy it, probably go down in price in like in a few weeks or a month, or more Grail drops happen. It could happen. But I think Green Lantern is still pretty darn cheap. I think we checked like 2 days ago and he was going for like 17 or something. Was he that cheap? Yeah. I remember someone listed one for 17 yesterday. Now someone's listing one for 18. So it's kind of hanging out in this like 20 gem range, but there's always like one person like slightly undercutting by a handful of gems. Why do when I zoom in, it actually zooms out? It's so weird. Yeah, oh well. Let's see what else is going on in the market. We looked at this. Let's look at the second page again. We didn't really go much further. Yeah, all these Wakandas, common and rare. This is going for 6 gems though. Wow, Woody at an all-time low. That's another argument. Would you guys say Woody's a Grail? Or is he just super popular? Is he a blue chip? 14,000 editions? Darkseid also, yeah, essentially, from what I heard, he's like the Thanos of DC. Guys, 5 gems. That means it's down, what, 90%? Like 90-something percent since the drop. I think Woody's a perfect example of popular, right? Arguably blue chip, but then again, Woody's popular, maybe blue chip. I agree with that. Maybe blue chip. I think it's just, Toy Story's fun, but there, no one's dropping 50 grand on a Toy Story toy or collectible or figurine or poster. Or maybe there is a sale out there, but nowhere near to the degree of the other collectibles or IPs like on the app. So, I'm sure a lot of toy sales. Same thing with like, what was it? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. What's the little alien guy? Disney. He eats everything. Hawaiian themed. Lilo and Stitch. Dude, I cannot believe I forgot that name. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch. Like Lilo and Stitch is another good example. It's like super popular, tons of toys sell, all that stuff, but are there people paying top dollar for Stitch? For such things? I don't know. Thanks, Slider. I know you meant Stitch. All right, let's go back. So popularity doesn't always mean Grail. I think you got to have a combination of all those things. Now, if there's like 500 Woodies, arguably, yeah, now it's kind of now it's getting into maybe Grail stats because it has the popularity down, but not the mint numbers. But I mean, once you get down to that low, even people that aren't massive Woody fans are just going to want to collect it just because it's scarce and everyone knows it, right? Buzz Lightyear poster, whatever. Stamps. Sorcerer Mickey, secret rare. Wow, going below box price. 50 gems was 60. TIE Fighter. Yeah, the vehicles aren't doing. I mean, Vader TIE Fighter. Is he still in the 15 gems? I have been thinking about kind of like vehicles more recently. My daughter made me buy Stitch and Lil dolls. Like in real life? That's cute. Is that like her favorite movie or like Disney character? Yeah, it's a lot of TIE Fighters. The issue is we haven't seen any, as far as I know, we haven't seen any burns with Star Wars, right? Only Marvel. Marvel comics, collectibles, and I could have sworn that I thought there was like one other IP that also like occasionally did burns or something like that, but wow, 12,000 TIE Fighters. So there's probably about 3,000 in circulation, roughly. It's going for 15 gems. They're an 80 gem box price. Yeah. Yeah, she has pillows and blankets of Stitch, a lot of stuff. That's cute. Yeah, I dig it. That was, I mean, was there anything else like that? For me, it wasn't like, I was obsessed with like Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, X-Men. I watched all kinds of shows as a kid. I was a big Spider-Man fan for a while. I think I did have like a Spider-Man like pajamas and like a toy. I remember I had a toy with like Velcro hands on to like throw him across the room because I thought he was like climbing up walls and stuff, but I'm trying to think like what else I was like really into. I don't know, I was also kind of influenced by like my older siblings and stuff like that. So whenever they watch something, I kind of just tagged along and watched it as well. So yeah, so I think someone already picked it up. It's going for 14. Oh no, that is the floor right now. Namor, hey, or hee, whatever this is. This is going for below box now. It's kind of crap. I mean, you guys are starting to see it. I mean, there's some drops right now where it's like if you played it and just kept it, you know, even the secret rares of some drops are going out low, like this one. Well, I don't know. This is the ultra rare, but I forgot we had Monster Hunter on the app. Yeah, Ninja Turtle sheets, nice. Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I like Ninja Turtle pajamas. I mean, I've dressed up as Power Rangers. I've dressed up as Ninja Turtles. There's Dark Side, 13 gems. Less than 2,000. I'm pretty sure this sold out. Iron Man. Iron Man's hitting all-time lows. Metallic Iron Man. I think a lot of people just kind of flip these metallics now that the tower kind of came out already. Oh, this is the German. This is the one I was talking about. Like not like a meme drop, but I remember people were kind of like pumping these because these are like super scarce. The Germany like Jurassic Park posters. Gotta love the Ninja Turtle bros. Yes, sir. Thanks. Adam Shafano. What's up, dude? Probably end the stream soon because I've been pushing it for almost 2 hours now. And I'm glad you guys stopped by. Check out the stream. See some cool stuff on the market. Yeah, I need to start selling some stuff on here. So, but all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you guys have a good one. Please double and triple check all of your listings so you don't screw yourselves over. And I'll catch you guys next time. Dino on these posts. Yeah, I remember it was Dino. I'll have to catch up with Dino. It's been a while. I think he messaged me the other day, and I totally meant to reply, but I just forgot. So I'll have to hit him up again. I do miss him. I think he's like doing Pokemon pack opening and stuff, but yeah. Anyway, I'll catch you guys around, and I'll be active on Twitter. And I do want to do the Discord at some point soon. I just need to get with a friend, make sure it's all squared away before we start. We're going to do like market talk. We're going to do just all kinds of stuff on there. It's kind of planned. So thanks, Lighter. I'll see you around, dude.